Hey everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of So I Just Moved to Dubai. I'm your host Inara, and today I'm joined by three amazing guests who, just like me, took the leap and landed in this vibrant, ever-evolving city we now call home. We're diving into the good, the weird, and the hilarious moments of those first days in Dubai and how our lives have evolved since then. So buckle up because it's going to be a fun ride through all the unexpected and unforgettable experiences of moving to this incredible city. Okay, welcome everyone.
Good evening.
Hello.
Thank you for inviting.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the first question. Your first thought when you just landed in Dubai?
I do.
My first thought when I first landed in Dubai. Well, I have to say that I'm very lucky because I came here because of Emirates. So it was a very well arranged arrival. So I just arrived and I saw the other people that were supposed to start same time as me.
Okay.
And I actually met people from a country that I didn't know about, and that they are from Malta.
Okay.
Yes. So I would have to say that the arrival was smooth.
Okay.
Yeah, and organized. Yeah. And I know that's usually not the case for most people who's coming into Dubai. Yeah.
Okay, so there was nothing shocking? Like the first time when you arrived,
Yeah.
you didn't get that heat, like, you know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
the-
Well, once we get out of, because back then we only had Terminal 1, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Terminal
was.
3 wasn't built yet. So we actually went out. And but when I arrived, it was April, so it wasn't that bad. But I remember all these fans blowing outside, and it was just quite a sight, actually. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you arrive?
I actually arrived on the 21st of April, 2004.
Okay.
Yes.
That's why you didn't get that, because I got here in August.
Oh, wow. In the middle of the summer.
Exactly. So the moment I stepped out, I walked up, I looked up to see if there was any like fans or any machine, like, you know, I thought it was like a public sauna. I didn't realize it
Public
could
sauna.
naturally be that hot, you know?
Yes.
So I was like,
Sensation.
literally, I was shocked. Like I didn't realize it was natural. I thought there was something like
A sauna.
a public sauna. Yeah, yeah. When
Yes.
did you arrive?
I got here June 23rd,
Okay.
2008. But I didn't get to Dubai. I arrived in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
Oh, so
I
you
arrived
were
in
in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, but the thing was, it's the same thing. Like when you open and you get out of the gate, the bridge of the plane, well, number one, the smell was different.
Yeah.
And second was that when you get out, it's just scorching hot, even if it was late night. It felt like, you know, you open the bonnet of a car and you put your head inside.
Yes.
And no one warned me about that. So, and then, of course, you know, normal cultural differences here and there. But I was not ready for any of those because, how would I say, like back home, I would say no one talks about these things when they're home. So it's like more of a conspiracy that when you get here, oh, why did you just warn me of these things? So
Where did you come from?
I came from Manila.
Okay.
I came from Manila. So, you know, and it's culturally different. And the weather is completely different. People are different. So everything was different. And that was pretty tough. You know, like it was pretty tough. I didn't expect that. I didn't really expect. I think it would have been different if I landed in Dubai, to be honest.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
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 But the
Right.
heat would be the same though.
The heat,
In
the
August?
heat. But
Yes.
I guess it's more of traditional in Abu Dhabi compared to Dubai.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's a little
absolutely.
bit
Yes,
conservative,
agree.
I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah.
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 Which month did you
Me
arrive
arrived
here?
in 1st of July 2006.
Oh, summer
Okay.
as well.
It was like the
Yes.
peak of the summer. My ex-boss, he explained me a little bit because he was here before. He managed to meet the sheikh before
Okay.
he came. And then he was explaining this project, you know, this new city. And it was okay. When I arrived and opened the door, the door for the airport, when I went to the park, the guy was waiting over there with this heat come to the face.
Yeah.
And I get concerned because this time I was working in gardens and take care of the dogs. That was my job before.
What was your job again?
Yeah, take care of the dogs and doing gardens.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was
Gardening.
doing.
Okay.
And then I was like, my God, midnight is like this. Imagine tomorrow daytime. This was my big concern when I was there. And then went to the accommodation. The next day was a sandstorm.
Yeah.
You know, it was like the baptism was a sandstorm. Like, oh my God, it was very different. And after we adapted with this situation, but it was really shocking. The heat in the night, and then the next day was a sandstorm. You know, everything was in that time. There's not too much construction in the back of the city, so the sandstorm used to be very strong there and cover everything. You cannot see.
Yeah.
So it was quite interesting, you know.
Yeah. I think the heat part, we were most affected by it. Those who came in summer.
Yeah.
I think because it wasn't the same for you. You came in April, so it was a different
April was still
experience.
quite, I would say,
Still
pleasant.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we come from places like he's from Manila, and then I'm from Bangkok, and you know, Southeast Asia is like hot and humid.
Yeah, we're used to it, but
yes, but it's a different degree here.
Correct.
It's like the temperature's way higher. And how hot does it get for you back home? Actually, the hottest.
Back home, it's a Mediterranean, so it's I don't know. It gets like 30s, 35.
Yes.
same like
during
same
the
like
day.
the Southeast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's that hot. It gets that hot, but it doesn't get humid though. So that's why when I came the first time, I started looking up because I really thought that there was a sauna machine or something. Literally,
Because of the
because I never
humidity.
thought it could get that humid.
It's pinching heat though. It's pinching heat. Like,
Yeah.
You know it's hot, but like
Yeah.
it's like stepping behind the refrigerator if you're back home.
Yeah.
Exactly how it feels.
Yeah,
Right? Like
yeah,
it's like warm everywhere.
Yeah, true.
This description.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah.
And then I remember like the first day, so I came for work. So when we were driving from the airport to work, the person who was with me, the driver showed me actually, this is where your office is. So I was like, okay, this looks quite, quite close to the hotel. So I'm just gonna walk it tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, and in that heat, in August 2008, I walked to the office, and you can imagine how I looked like the first day at work.
Sweating, all this
I was sweaty.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, they didn't understand. They were like, "What did you do? Like, why do you look
Why
like
you
that?"
walk out?
And it was my
Why'd you do
first
that?
day, right? And I was like, I just walked. Like that's all I did. And for me, it's like normal, like small distance. I mean, we could just walk it,
Was
Oh,
it
we all
right
did like
9
this,
a.m.?
Yeah.
It was 9 a.m.
Oh.
It was 9
That's
a.m.
like
in
probably
August.
12 noon back home.
Yes.
It's normal because my mom and my sister, when they visited, they did walk as well, and they come back all sweaty, all drenched.
Yeah. But at work, it was a bit.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing,
It is.
because I was getting introduced to everyone and I just didn't look the part,
That's one of the things that affect a lot was this humidity. And now I work with tourism, and some people, they still come in this July and August,
Yeah.
especially the Europeans, and they
Yeah.
see the short distance, they want to do walking.
Yeah.
I told them, I tell them, it's not possible. No, but Europe, we walk this and they say, yeah, but you're going to walk a half of this distance, you're going to be all wet and sweat and stuff,
Yeah.
So they get surprised with the humidity and the heat.
Yeah.
But especially the humidity, that's what affects a lot.
True. Yeah, true. I remember when I was dropped the first time from the airport to the hotel, there were these tall gentlemen, at the door of the hotel, and they were dressed in turbans. And I really thought it was like the theme of the hotel. I didn't know that there were people actually dressed like that, Sikhs. I didn't know like there were people who dressed like that until I came to Dubai. I thought it was just the theme of the
Same. Yeah.
the hotel, and I was like, wow, this is so impressive, Then I found out there were actually people dressing like that,
Yeah.
And different kind of clothes
Yes.
and stuff. Yeah.
It's all about exposure, I think.
Yeah.
Before we left to go to the region here,
Yeah.
it's just kind of like same as me. Back then, I used to think that Egyptians, they have their own religion, their own language, that kind of thing. Until I came to Dubai, and I realized that, they actually speak Arabic.
I didn't know they all spoke Arabic.
That's
in
the
this region.
thing. Like I had a batchmate who, like, she's Egyptian, and then it took me about a few months to realize that she actually speaks the same language as everybody else.
Yeah.
I felt so naive at that
Because
time.
like for us, like from the southeast, right? We
Yes.
have our own. Like it's
Yeah.
here they share the same thing, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's really
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I remember when, one of the colleagues drove me around and I noticed, I was like, but this is a city under construction. There's so many,
This was
like,
the feeling. Yeah.
there were so many construction sites everywhere, And I was like, wow, like there's so many projects going on in this city,
Yeah.
And I saw the marina. I think the marina was there in 2008.
Yeah, they start to
Already.
open there, yeah.
Yes.
This time.
Yeah.
Remember when they invited us for the after party, something like this? Marina was way far, this kind of stuff.
Oh,
like,
when I arrived,
Yeah.
Marina didn't exist actually.
yeah, was under
Yeah.
construction.
It
The
was
furthest
the,
part,
what do you
yeah.
call that? The Hard Rock Cafe.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was going to talk
Yeah.
about. The
In the middle
furthest
of
part
nowhere.
in
Hard Rock
Sheikh Zayed Road
Cafe.
is actually Hard Rock Cafe with the
Yeah.
two guitars.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hard
Like
Rock
that,
Cafe.
yes.
Yeah.
Iconic, really iconic. And there was nothing beyond that.
Yeah.
Toyota, and then the Hard Rock Cafe.
I was living
Yes.
this communities, the Emirates Hills, this side where they have the small community over there. Now it's a big stuff. Everything was still under construction in Marina and Jumeirah Lake Towers. Was start begin Jumeirah Lake Towers, and there's one bridge,
Okay.
from the Emirates Hills to opposite side of Sheikh Zayed Road, and I was doing the English course in the Knowledge Park. Always took like 1 hour to cross this bridge because of the traffic.
Yeah.
Every day when I go to the English course, like 1 hour stuck there. Slowly,
The
slowly.
Hessa Street back then.
Yeah, yeah.
We can talk about
Yeah.
this street.
They were building this new bridge, but
Yeah.
it was only one was open. It was always every day to go to
There's
this.
even like the canal. Who would believe that there's like a canal there now? Like that was flat.
Yeah, right?
Sheikh
Yes.
Zayed Road was flat. They created that bridge, put water underneath. That's like
Is
amazing.
it?
Yeah, it was
Cutting through
amazing.
Safa Park.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah,
The
cutting through
lifestyle,
Safa Park and
yeah.
everything.
yeah. And back then, I think the palm was a rumor, like, an island, like an artificial island. It was something that we heard of and we're like, wow, like how is this going to look like? And it does look amazing. I mean,
It
until
is
we
now
go.
if you see it now.
Yeah.
If you see from the top, it's impressive how they do this big stuff like
beautiful.
this. The,
Yeah.
the project, nobody believe on it actually.
Yeah.
And when I arrived here, they still open, they still closed, they still under construction. Then was the big news on the newspaper was that they found a Arabian wolf
Okay.
roam around in the palm.
Wow.
And the police went there to catch it and put in the reservation and stuff. This was the big news in just the week when I arrived.
Yeah.
They found the Arabian wolf roaming in the Palm Jumeirah.
Wow.
How he ended up over there?
Yeah.
That was interesting that time.
Yeah.
And Dubai was a big surprise for me because my boss was talking about like, oh, this project they're gonna be. When I arrived, the construction was already everywhere. And as you say, the kind of different people you find from different worlds, different countries, with the clothes, with the language, with the way they behave and all this stuff. And it was really interesting for me because I always like to read about the world. I always like to see the world, and I see the world in Dubai. When I arrive here, I can see the
Yeah,
entire
that's a good
world
point,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, it is.
It's like a portal to the rest of the
Yeah,
world,
that's a
right?
very
good point.
cosmopolitan, and this is the very positive thing I thought when I arrived here was this. I have friends from all over the world.
Yeah.
You see Irene from Thailand, and we're still friends now,
Yeah.
and from another place as well. And for me, that was amazing. You arrive in the place, and then there's people from all over the world here.
Yeah.
In that time, there's very few Brazilians. I think it was like 2,000, 3,000 Brazilians in that time.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. It was really very strange and a nice feeling.
Yeah, and the thing is,
when I
like, like you mentioned now, Brazilians, because when you get here, you're like, nationality is not the criteria. Because, you can, like, once you get to meet people and know them, then you don't have that that barrier with other cultures. You're more open, and you're like, yeah, I'll just befriend people that I'm comfortable around, and they don't have to be from my country. I have this option now, and I'm open to all these cultures.
Yeah.
And my criteria doesn't have to be, people from the same country or same culture, because you can get along with everyone.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's correct.
Yeah.
I think people have a tendency to be very open-minded about making friends here,
Right.
especially with the
Yeah.
expat community.
Yeah.
Once you're here, everyone is very open.
Yeah, I think Dubai there's this effect on the people, because as you are far from home, you are far from
Yeah.
your family, so make the new friend, the new family We make it with the friends, with the new friends you arrive, and then some people they say, oh, in Dubai it's difficult to make friends. Man, I make friends here, and I still friend with them like 18 years, you know, because it's your new family. It's a new family here.
True.
And you get very strong connection with these people when we meet here. And Dubai is it like this, you know. We have to construct, you build your own family with this new friends, with new people now in Dubai. I really like this kind of environment they have here. In Brazil, we have big cities over there, but they are not that cosmopolitan like we have here. There is most people live there are Brazilians. Few gringos living there. The rest are all Brazilians. So we don't have the same opportunity to meet people all over the world like we have here.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I like here.
Yeah. What surprised you most when you got here?
Well, for me, the most surprising thing was that the weekend was Thursday and Friday when I got here. It was like completely different, of course, from the rest of the world. So, and it's so funny because back then it will be a little bit difficult to do business, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's got like, Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday in other parts of the world. But I guess, later, like everything was shifted.
Yeah.
Yes.
For me, it was the restrictions. My boss was telling me that you cannot do that, you cannot do that. You have to be careful of everything. And that was for me. But as a Brazilian, Brazil is a little bit more relaxed, the rules over there.
Yeah.
But then I adapted and I realized that we have to adapt. Otherwise, you cannot stay. And that was my biggest surprise, the restrictions they have in the beginning.
Yeah.
And adapted, and the life goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the...
Yeah, for me, when I got here, lots of things that, but I guess from where I come from and the industry I work in, everything here was blown up like probably 100 times in terms of budget. You get like, I'm an architect by profession. So in terms of the designs and in terms of at that time, probably Dubai was just...
Yeah, was the pinnacle and stuff. That's true, yeah.
So, and actually it was one of the reasons why I came here. Was that because as an architect, I said I want to go to Dubai, I want to see how if I can play in that field right now because it's where the major leagues are. So, and that's kind of surprised me. I didn't expect the projects to be that mega. So I guess I was lucky to be part of some really mega projects, but I didn't imagine it was going to be that mega.
Yeah.
The scale of the project.
I guess from where we all come from, like if you tell people that we're building a 15-story building, that's like, wow, right here that's nothing. That's nothing.
Yeah.
So like here 45, 60, 70-story buildings are normal. So
Impressive. Yeah, it is impressive.
It is.
I think before I came here, I had the vision. I don't know if I was sleeping or awake, but I actually talking about buildings. I had this vision of being in a city with skyscrapers, and in my mind, I was like, this looks like either the U.S. or Dubai, because I've seen. Initially, I was thinking it's the U.S., and then I watched the documentary about Dubai, and I was like, it could be Dubai too, And it just happened that eventually I ended up here with work. So it's not something that I planned, but that vision came true, or somehow. And when I came initially, as I said, it looked like a big project.
yes,
There was so many sites,
Sheikh
and
Zayed Road at that time probably had all these cranes
right,
yeah.
yes,
on top of Sheikh Zayed Road itself.
Yes.
There was a point in time. Sorry if I
Yes,
cut
go
you.
ahead.
There was a point in time that in the news that they were saying that probably 85% of the cranes in the whole world were here.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were saying that. Yeah. So
There was so many construction. In such a small city,
Yeah.
and this amount of cranes here. So
Yeah.
the concentration of cranes here was incredible. I had one guest here from Portugal. He was renting cranes to the construction companies here. They run all off over. They could not find new cranes, so he was renting old ones.
yes.
The demand was so big that they have to rent the old ones. Imagine that.
Wow.
This was crazy in that time. You see so much construction works, all this kind of movement of action are happening in Dubai. I come with the contract of 6 months.
Okay.
Because the people I was working with then, we lived in South Africa before for 2 years. And then South Africa gets so dangerous, and so they want to move. The company move, so the boss bring us here, and they put the contract 6 months.
Okay.
If you like, you stay. If you don't like, you back home or to South Africa. That was the way I end up here. And most of people I was meeting around, most of them, they come with very short contact as well.
Okay.
Was the high and buy, Remember? High and buy. You meet them, okay, exchange number. The next day they left already because they come with short contract. Some people, they don't adapt, they leave. But I stay, and till now, 18 years after, I'm still here. Still like Dubai, it's my place.
It's interesting because I met so many people who came here initially for 1-2 years max. 1-2 years, and then next thing you know, it's 10, it's 15, you know, and counting. Yeah, exactly.
I would probably always say that I was probably one of those people who didn't want to be here.
Okay.
Because when I got here, number one, it was so hot. But yeah, then again, you see these challenges, and then you see the beauty of the place, and then it was just a little bit harder in the start.
It's like testing, So
it's expectations versus reality, you know. And it's like you have a certain idea or have a certain, imagination of how things are like, but then sometimes it matches, sometimes not. Some areas do match, especially if you've seen it somewhere, or like I did, like a documentary about it, etc. So you see like certain things that you could, you saw probably not online, but mainly on TV.
Back in the TV,
yeah. Or once you get here, then, you learn certain things that you didn't know, you didn't get to know before stepping here, before landing here,
Because I was always thinking it was Dubai, so, but there's so much, I was in the outskirts, and then when I got to Dubai, it's then amazing. It's amazing,
So what was the, the expectation versus reality for you?
Expectation versus reality.
Like, how was it like for you back then?
To be honest, before I came to Dubai, the reason why I came is because of Emirates Airline, right?
Okay.
And when I got the job, the only thing that I actually Googled to find is that does Dubai have a beach?
Okay.
And indeed, yes, a beautiful one as well.
Yes.
Jumeirah Beach. And so when I came here, it was just like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Because also keep in mind that, like, as you know, with Emirates Airline, everything is so organized.
Yeah.
We get picked up from the airport, we get put into our accommodation, we do our training for about 6 weeks, and then we are put on the line, to fly. And then we are not always here a lot of the time as well. So it's just kind of like a surreal kind of a life, I would say. And then being in Dubai, and we have so many benefits as well, discounts and privileges. So it's just kind of like, I would say it was great. Yeah. So the expectation was like that there, and then the reality was pretty good, I have to say.
Okay. Yeah. It matched with the reality.
It pretty much matched, yeah.
Okay.
And even more too.
Yeah. I think back then, it was a dream for a lot of people to work for Emirates.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I can see why now that I've been in the job.
Still
myself.
is.
Still is.
Yeah.
Because it seems like a very glamorous job.
Yeah.
Yeah. But of course, when you come to the, behind the scenes and everything, that's anything but glamorous. But
it's a job.
Yes, it's a job.
Yeah, it's not just traveling. It's not. Yeah.
Yes.
I applied 4 times for Emirates.
You did not get it.
Yeah. I was old for the position. Yeah.
Okay.
But I applied 4 times actually, and the last time they invited me, but then in that day they were hired only people who speak Arabic fluently.
Ah. Okay.
But then to the end, I went to the end of the selection.
Yeah.
And then was like 13 people there, and then they say there's only Arabic speaking.
Okay.
It was my last chance because I was turned 35 and I could not apply again. Regard to the expectations, for me, I don't have that much expectation because I was reading about Dubai because my boss was like giving me a lot of materials, and I was like, okay, let's explore this new place. Let's see what happens over there. So I didn't have that much expectation. I knew that's going to be a little bit different. Completely different from South Africa, from Brazil. So when I stayed in the Emirates Hills, it was quite isolated.
Okay.
And in that time, there's no public transportation. You cannot move around the city. So if you live there, you stay there, you know.
Yeah.
There's very few taxis. It was very hard to find a taxi. So I stayed more in this area there. That was my life for the first 6 months, was around here in Marina, this area where I was doing the English course. So it was, like I didn't say, match my expectation. That was how I think about Dubai.
Yeah.
Later on, yes, when I started to move around the city and I saw the new Dubai, the new areas, so I got a little bit surprised. And when I went to the old area, it was a different world over there, completely different for the new Dubai. That was more or less what happened for me. So I didn't have this big expectation about Dubai, about salary as well. I don't have the hard time like arriving like you, because was everything organized by the company as well when I arrived. So it was smooth the arrival. But the hard part was just the there's no tax to move around. So I stay more in this area of the Emirates Seals and marinas. So I didn't have big expectation about Dubai. Was normal for me, actually.
Yeah. I think for you're mentioning now the currency, because I wasn't used to it before coming here. And I wasn't used to spending my own money because I used to live with my family. So I didn't really know, how to manage my income, because I didn't know how to, if you tell me this costs this amount in dirhams, I couldn't really quantify it properly. It took me some time to adjust, and it took me spending my whole income a few months before the end of the month to realize that, okay, this costs, this is a bit expensive. This is okay, Initially, I didn't, and I was asking around, some colleagues, and I remember back then they were like, anything, like one of the colleagues was, anything above 100, it starts getting more expensive. It starts getting expensive, more than 100 dirham. Anything less than that, it's okay, when it comes to shopping. So this is how I explained it. This is how it starts, right? So I couldn't quantify things. So I used to spend way more than my actual revenue. And then, I learned to adjust, of course, with time. But that was one of the challenges. And I think because that was my first experience outside of my own country, so I wasn't used to dealing in foreign currencies. I mean, as, it's not like you're traveling, as a tourist or something. You're actually living there, you're paying your bills and, so expenses and all that. So, yeah.
Well, coming from Southeast Asia, like out of Bangkok, everywhere is expensive.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Isn't it so?
It is.
Yeah. So like everything has got a different cost here, but it was easier for me because back then in the Thai baht, all you need to do is just to -10, and that's the amount in dirham.
Okay.
So that was kind of easy, but now we go through a bit of ups and downs and stuff. So it's a little bit. I think
same.
It was the same,
same.
for the Philippines.
Same. Yeah,
Peso, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, but now there's a bit of a change.
It's a bit of a change.
Yeah,
correct.
but it was the same. How is it with the Brazilian real?
Yeah, the Brazilian real was quite strong that time. Was almost 1 real was cost 2 dirhams.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, I remember that.
and South Africa was less because in that time $1 was 10 rands.
Okay.
So what was my salary there was in rands, and when I arrived here, I realized, the salary was one of the stuff.
Yeah.
Because we see a lot of zeros, and then when we convert was. But after that, the price of this thing was quite more expensive than in South Africa here. And because in South Africa, I mean, the food was quite cheaper compared with Dubai.
Yeah.
And the salary looked like big, but because the currency is less than here, so we can balance it there. But here, the salary was not that big, and the thing was expensive. So we have to be very careful with the salary, otherwise you're going to spend all them very easy, very quickly.
Which I did.
It's easy to spend money here.
And I didn't have a backup, like my family wasn't here.
And then you get it one time as well. Like back home, the salaries are given on the 15th of the month and on the 30th of the month.
Okay.
So it's not that really hard to budget because you have 2 weeks.
Yes.
Here, when you get here, you just get it at the end of the month.
Yes.
That's a hard adjustment as well because I'm used to keeping money for 2 weeks and then expecting another money in the next 2 weeks, you know. So
And safety, I remember I was just not used to safety. I mean, when I came here the first time,
this was
I remember we had an activity with my colleagues. They took us all out, and they said, you don't need to leave to take your bag. Just leave it in the car. And I was like, "Are you sure?" And they were like, "Yeah, don't worry. Just leave it in the car." So they opened the door and the car door. And I was looking around and I was like, just hold on. And I was looking around and they were like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm just making sure no one is seeing me when I'm, putting my bag in the car. I have my money and everything inside. And they were like, they started laughing and they're like, there's nothing to worry about. Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, thieves and they were like, nope,
it
doesn't happen here.
It's not easy to change the mindset, of course.
Right?
I mean, we come from real world.
Yes.
And then suddenly coming to Dubai, it's like another world when it comes to safety, like you said. When I first came, there was a batchmate that actually grew up in Dubai. He was ground staff before he became a cabin crew, and he was doing the training with us. So he actually drove us to Jumeirah Beach, the beach facing the Burj Al Arab. I remember, like, the moment he arrived, you know what he did? He parked the car, he got out, and he just ran straight into the beach. And we were like, aren't you gonna lock the door or something? And he says to me, Habibi, it's Dubai. I said, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So, that was amazing though. You could just leave your car open like that. And your belongings,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's the wallet or it's the laptop.
No problem.
No problem.
That's
really amazing, yes.
Yeah, it takes a while to get used to that.
Of course, yeah.
Although it's positive. You're like, is this true? Like, is what they told me is true? Like, it takes you some time to realize that how safe it is.
It is.
I
used to lock a lot of the doors. When I left my first job, when I come to Dubai, I started work with tourism, and I was sharing the place with Rodrigo, our friend who is architect as well, actually. And then he invited me to share an apartment with him, and then he never locked the door. And every day when I arrive, I lock my door, I lock the outside door. And he was like, oh, why are you doing this? Are you crazy? I said, man, just a habit, because I live in South Africa. I have to lock 3 times and check if I lock again. I have to always to do this neurosis, to check if I really lock the door. He said, Habibi, halas, relax. Here you don't need it.
Yes, Habibi is the word here.
And it's such a big contrast, because you come from places like Brazil. Then South Africa, and then suddenly you come to a place like Dubai, which is like
relax, you don't have to lock the door. And he was, I had a hard time adapt to this. You don't have to lock all the doors, because I lock the outside door and the door of my room as well, all the time, And he was like, brother, don't need to do it. Relax.
Relax,
And
what
then,
are you hiding in your room?
Exactly. And then I get to know, say, okay, halas, he is safe. You can do it. But it take me quite a while to adapt to this locking everything. Because when I lived in South Africa, I have to lock 1, lock 2, put the alarm, switch on the fence, the electrical fence, the
electrical fence.
Yeah, and the sensors, all this. Every day was kind of, a set of things you have to do before you go to sleep. So you lock the doors, all the doors check, and then you put on the alarms, and then the fence, and then the sensors. And he was like this as well, guy. Oh, Habibi, shway, relax. And finally, okay, I adapt, but it took me a while to stop locking all the doors and then
to realize there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's crazy, how like it takes adjustment to feel safe when you're not used to it.
Yeah, especially when it comes to this kind of situation that you are in real dangers,
Yeah.
And then you come here like smooth, walk around midnight anytime.
It is a blessing.
Leave this stuff, This is something that is incredible here,
Yeah.
Okay, could happen something, but very small situation happen. But most of the time, 99% of the time, Dubai is really safe.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that amazed me a lot. Want to adapt to this new reality. You don't have to worry about anything. Just relax.
Yeah.
Do your job, do your business, and is it.
You don't have to look behind your back when you walk in a dark alley or something.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. So.
Yeah, you can go out, like, especially for us women. I mean, to go out at night, you can go for a walk by the beach at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. if you feel like it, and and you're completely safe. It's
It's
not
priceless, this
enjoyable.
one.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's priceless.
Yeah. I think now it takes adjustment for us when we travel,
Yes,
because that's where we need to be
yes,
careful,
you
and
have
we're not
to-
used to being careful here.
Yeah.
Of course.
When you go
We're
home
just
and it
comfortable.
feels it's not home because you have to be a lot more careful back home
Yes.
than here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
I was going on the trip with my friends to Spain, and then we were just at the car rental. I just have my handbag as what you call that, as a habit. I just have my handbag on top of my luggage, and I just went and speak to the window, and they were like, "Don't leave your bag because it's gonna be gone."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh yes, I forgot that I'm not in Dubai anymore."
Yeah.
It takes a while to get,
To realize,
to
yeah.
realize.
I saw in the restaurant once, just like I think 6 months after I was here, my boss, he brought me out to the restaurant to eat something, and then I saw people put the cell phones in what they call the wallet over there, everything there, and go to the toilet and come back, and I was like, how can it be possible?
Yeah.
You just leave there and you go there and come back and nothing happened.
Yeah.
I was like, my God, this is not real. This place,
Yeah.
They use it now to save tables as well in the malls, right? Like you see a table, you leave your phone, and you go buy
and
your
you
food.
go, yeah,
and you
true.
come back.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do it a
yeah,
lot
true.
actually. My
Yeah.
cell phone or the
Wallet or yeah.
In Singapore, they actually use tissue paper pack to book the table actually here. So here is cell
Practical.
phones and all
The
this.
cell phone and
You
the
put the cell
wallet.
phone or the wallet. Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem.
And another positive is if I don't know if anyone has experienced losing their phone, it will
Yeah.
find its way back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
Yes.
this has happened to me. I
Yes.
left it, and it found found its way back to me. So it's
I lost my
Yeah.
wallet.
that you can only get here
Yes.
in Dubai.
there was one time a very good friend of ours. She actually went to like a restaurant, and for some reason she left her entire purse there.
Okay.
And funny thing is that we managed to contact them, and they had a rider like send the whole purse back to where we were.
Wow.
But that is really out of this world.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah.
Yes. The entire person is intact. Nothing was
Yeah.
missing.
Yeah.
Only in
People will
Dubai,
run
only in the
after you
UAE.
to give you your stuff back.
Yes.
Right?
The taxi driver, he come back with my wallet. Was the day when I did the interview for the Emirates, the last one I tried in the Emirates. And I was in a hurry, and then I left. And some the guy was like, the taxi driver, he went back and do the U-turn and come to me, sir. And I look, what? He said, your wallet. I'm like, oh my God. He gave me the wallet. He gave me back to my wallet. He went back long way to do the U-turn and come back to give me my wallet. Oh, like,
Wow.
my God.
Amazing.
But
And just to a point, just to add probably context is, I think most of the things that we're also talking about was pre-Emirates ID days.
mhm.
So it's not because of now, because it's centralized and people probably who came recently. There's a centralized ID system for us to monitor the amount of
cameras,
CCTVs.
yes.
So
Yes.
which will also make you feel restricted in probably doing bad things. But what we're talking about was
That time, yes.
pre-Emirates ID,
yes.
pre-CCTV
Oh, yes,
days,
absolutely.
and that's the beauty of it. It's I don't know, no one told you to be that way. It's probably
Yeah.
just there was no briefing on that you have to be this way. But
Yeah.
I guess it's probably a shared culture of everyone who comes here.
Yes.
You know, so,
Yeah.
And adapted for the system,
yeah.
Was
Yeah.
that's one thing is still amazing in this kind of security and safety here. And in my area, I work as a tourist guide, and then people, I have to explain them that, and some people they don't believe. We go to the gold souk. Imagine the amount of gold over there and jewelry
Yeah.
and
And you won't
stones.
see anyone with guns.
No guns, no security.
Yeah, no.
And they're like, this is real? This is real? I say, I have to insist on the yes, it's real, the
Yeah.
certification. My God, cannot believe. In Brazil, they're going to rob everything. I say, yes,
Yeah.
in Brazil, but you are in Dubai, so
Yeah.
relax.
And
And if
there's
they-
some,
sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
And it's also if you sell fake, it's like you're protected as well. Like you're not, don't be scared to buy something which is fake.
Yeah.
And if you find out it's fake, you can actually bring it back and
No, yeah,
return
big
your
time.
money, yeah.
If they sell something which is not real over there, they're gonna lose the shop, the
Yeah.
store, and go jail, of course.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you
here's-
feel protected, secure and protected.
yeah, and they work hard to keep in this way. They work
Yeah.
very hard. The government, the system is working very hard to keep the city more and more clean and,
Yeah.
and safe. All this kind of stuff, because they know. The reputation of Dubai now is over the world. Everybody knows Dubai. Everybody knows Dubai is safe. So
Yeah.
they improve more and more the security and safety of the city, which is very interesting.
Yeah, and I feel that you can do way more when you have a peaceful mind when it comes to security, when it comes to
Oh,
safety.
absolutely.
Like if you even let alone like if you're just here to on holidays to just enjoy, have a good time, if when your mind is at peace when it comes to safety and security, you really enjoy way more.
Yeah.
If you're here for business, the same thing. You're not worried about your wallet. You're not worried about walking on the street. You're not. Your mind. You can actually focus on what you're here for, whether that's business, whether relaxing. You can really be in the moment and not worry about anything. And I think that's priceless.
It is. It is.
And you see also a lot of tourists who come here and they find Dubai as an opportunity to wear their expensive jewelries, to wear their expensive watches,
bling bling.
because most of them keep it in locked vaults in banks in
Right.
the US or in the West. That, they can't
They
can't
can
really
show, yeah.
they can't, 'cause they're gonna get followed and they're gonna get robbed.
Right.
But here, like, it's an opportunity. I'm flying to Dubai.
Yeah.
That's an opportunity to
Flash
bring all
the
of it.
brain
Yeah.
stuff, everything.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
the place for this.
And it's a place for this because it's safe.
Yes.
It's no one's gonna be interested in that. No one's gonna take it from you. So yeah.
Yeah, and it becomes normal. Like I remember because my brothers, like I have brothers and nephews, but actually they're so into cars and sports cars and everything. And the moment you're like, when you live here, like initially you're like, wow, they've got all these, fancy cars and, the Ferraris and Lamborghinis and, but then after some time you're like, it just becomes like,
Yeah.
it
So
becomes very
normal.
normal.
Yes, it's
And that's
so
how you
normal,
find-
exactly.
And it's one of those things that, how would you say, like, if you're from Dubai, is like, because like I'm not amazed by Lamborghinis and
Exactly.
Ferraris anymore.
Yeah,
That's
right?
what
It's a
No,
normal
yeah.
thing.
But it's a big
yeah.
deal when we see it, like, on the street.
All the people,
Yeah,
the
back home.
guests when they arrive here to visit, they all take picture in the Lamborghini, Ferrari, everything. And for us, I look the plates, okay. It's normal
The
plate.
plates.
Yeah, the plates, yeah.
The plates is a big stuff over here. So
Yeah.
and I explain this for the people, and when they start chasing the plates, when they see two numbers or one number in the plate, they, oh my
yeah.
God, look at this.
Yeah.
You see, because normal car in Dubai doesn't shock us anymore, as we live here.
Yeah,
We
true.
become a little bit of spoiled.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Did you ever get lost when you got here initially? Do you remember first time you got lost?
Let me jump in on this. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so when we're talking about this 2008, 2009, there wasn't any Google, like
Yes.
Yeah, was by
No smartphones.
no
actually.
smartphones. So
smartphones.
for you to be able to get around in Dubai,
Yeah.
was that you would look at the building,
reference.
and then
Ah,
just
yes.
follow it by eye, like right?
Yeah,
so like,
yeah.
if
Yeah,
it's gonna be like a roundabout, you have to know, like, that's why it's called the fish roundabout, because like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a fish, like, so. And you wanted to go, for example, at that time in Barsha, there were only 3 buildings in the middle of nowhere. That
With
science.
accommodation there.
Like, so it's behind that, yes, everyone got lost, but
Yeah.
the only way to find your way was like look at the building.
By reference,
True.
yeah.
Yeah.
No one knew names of roads. I don't think any one of us still know the major roads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anywhere in between, no, you know the building.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a Choitram there. There's like a Lulu. Okay, I'm on my way.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Very true.
I get lost in downtown in the Dubai area.
Yeah,
I was coming from Abu Dhabi by bus, and then I dropped in the Gubaiba metro station, bus station, and then I was trying to find the main road where they have this Manazel building,
Yeah.
But there we could not see it. So I just started walking the middle of these small roads and up and down, and it was sweating as I heard, it was summertime, and I ended up in the Bank Street.
Yeah.
And then I asked the people, say, yeah, just turn right over there in this computer plaza, and then you are there.
You'll find it, right?
Okay.
It's
And
just
then I
by
found a couple of
reference.
houses.
Landmark.
Yeah.
Landmark.
When I moved to Al Basha was 2011 or 2010, and then there's not much building as well. And in my building where they started jiu-jitsu, they have the rose was a store they sell rose flowers, no?
Yes.
Yes.
So always when I have some delivery in my place, I have to tell the guy, you see the rose shop? That was my reference.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see the rose shop is my
Yeah,
building. You can
yeah.
come. This was the reference at that time.
Yeah.
And if you get lost in Dubai, it's the only reason you'll get lost in Dubai is because if there's a new flyover,
Yes.
if there's a new interchange, and then for you to be used to it, because if you want to turn right, you have to be on the left.
True.
So
took me a long time to
and it's
learn it.
and it's also an acceptable culture here that when you tell your meeting that you're late because I missed the exit. Oh, okay.
It was a good excuse.
Because everyone went through
because it's like 45 minutes. You know, like you miss an exit, 45 minutes.
Especially when you come to the Marina side, because there's only that bridge over there.
That Garnal Salka bridge will confuse you. Like okay, if they're watching, they need to at least fix the sign. I don't know what west is and I don't know what east. Because it says go north, go south. I don't know which north and south is. Like, put a name.
It can become a joke.
Right or left? Yeah.
It's either I know Jebel Ali or Sharjah. If you put north or south, I don't know.
And also bear in mind that roads' name have changed so many
Changed,
times
yes.
as well. Then when you're used to like a certain signage, and suddenly that name is not there anymore. So what is the new name of this?
Exactly what we were just mentioning. That Garnal Sabkla is called Al Jabayel now or something. It's different now.
Yeah.
So
It's a different name.
it's
yes.
different. So like when you
It keeps
Google
changing,
It
yes.
keeps changing.
And then when I have to find someone, when they have some lunch in someone's house, some like barbecue in Marina, in the Jumeirah area. You know, all the streets are the same.
Yes.
They have numbers. And then I was with the taxi round spending so much money with the tax, and call the people, turn right, turn left, you see the mosque, you see the gas station. But there's a lot of mosque gas station in this area there.
Yeah.
So in the roads all the same. You know, it was very hard to find someone's house in the Jumeirah in that time. You know,
to find a house or something.
Even here in the Emirates Hills was the same. If you go inside one of these communities over there, the lakes and the same.
Oh yeah, like you go through springs.
Yeah.
They all look the same. But to your point, I don't think you're new or like you're old here is like you're gonna be exempted from getting lost. Like, bring me somewhere I haven't been exiting the new creek in Ras Al Khor. I'll get lost there.
My God,
I will never find that.
Yeah.
Now it's way better. Now they put names on the street and they say street
But
name,
for the
still.
initial time that you go, you're gonna get lost. You're gonna like probably look.
I have a friend, Marcelo. He always uses the GPS. Even the GPS, he get lost.
That's the new age problem right now.
Because people start to look too much for this stuff, and then they don't look at reference. They lost the old stuff.
The old style before that you look at the buildings, right?
Do you remember one moment where you misunderstood the culture?
Yeah, some few times, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
You remember one?
Yeah, I can tell you that inshallah. Inshallah can mean yes, maybe, and never, depending on how the mood is.
Okay.
So I thought inshallah was like, thank God, it's gonna happen.
Happening.
Yeah, but it's either a yes, maybe, nah. Inshallah. Like, so yeah, that's a big culture difference. And another one would be 5 minutes here would mean either 5 minutes or 5 business days. You know, like it's in between 5 minutes and 5 business days. So
business days,
and it's also acceptable. You know? It's not like you're gonna get mad after 5 business days. It's okay.
What to do, Yanni?
So
for me,
there are all these small cliches. Yeah, like what to do, inshallah, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
These are like, I think, specifically here in the I've asked people if like this is there. No, it's only here. Yeah, so it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's funny, but because you understand it, I don't think other guys who haven't been here, who haven't lived here, understand that.
Then you get used to it, and doesn't matter. For me, was the kissing stuff, because you know in Brazil when I introduce somebody, you go kicks.
Okay.
And then so many times I was like, the way the hand was first here, for me was a big shock. This always.
Yes.
Especially with the Arabic woman, you know, when they introduce, when I was going to, the hand come first like this, like.
Yeah.
And I was like shocked, you know. And another time I was in the Global Village. I didn't know the separation. That time was quite segregated yet. There's a concert in Global Village. It was my first time I went there. And then I was so amazed by all these lights, all this music and stuff. And I have this old digital camera. I was take video and pictures. And then when I realized I was in the middle of the woman. Everybody in black abayas, you know, and they start complaining. You know, I was like, oh my God, I got pale. And then the police come to me like, what are you doing here? You know, this is for ladies. You have to go to the opposite side.
Wow.
You know, I'm like, okay, sorry. So I went to the opposite side. They're quite nice. They're not aggressive, but they say, you have to go there because he's the only woman, okay?
Yeah.
I'm like, sorry. So I went there. this was a big shock for me because, you know, in the West, you don't have this separation that much.
Yeah.
But I even don't realize. I was just walking, take video and picture, and realized I was in the middle of the woman.
Yeah.
And they all look at me like, what the hell are you doing here? You know? And then the guy asked me to go to the male side of the concert, and it was okay. That was one of the few times that happened.
Yeah. That's actually, I remember like in municipalities and things like that. And I really liked it, actually. I really liked it because we've got our own, like women have their own seating, waiting area and like their own queues. Like and, you know, and sometimes it could be like way more comfortable, you know, to have, I mean, for women, I felt that, you know, they felt way more comfortable for us to queue separately, etc. And
you see, they have the metro with the carriage for ladies. They have the taxis for ladies.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Actually,
isn't it?
the buses as well.
Yes.
In the beginning, when I started taking the buses, they have
the first row, the first row is for ladies.
Rows,
Yeah.
That's very
nice, no?
Yeah.
And usually there would be less ladies than men, usually. So that's why it's easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes it easier for us, yeah. But then we got these female taxi drivers. We got, you know, it's, I feel, honestly, I felt way more comfortable. I mean, late night, if I'm taking a taxi, although it's quite safe anyway.
Yeah, it is.
But sometimes it just feels safer, you know. And the queues, we've got, you know, our separate queues and things like that. And you know, it was different for me, but something that I appreciated.
And I have this experience with the relation for women when people introduce for women, not only for the Arabic woman, but for the Western woman as well, because Europe especially, they are not like, I thought everybody was like in Brazil, you know, we embrace people and kiss the chicks. Yeah. And even the Western woman, I was even more surprised when the Western girls come and so give the hand like this. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I think it's only in Brazil that do that.
Yeah, the thing is, the culture shock happens not just with people like from the Emirates, but because you meet people from around the world. So you get that culture shock with, you know, a lot of other cultures, like, you know, impressions that I had. For example, I met this lady from Pakistan and she wasn't, you know, she was dressed, you know, modern jeans and, you know, and I thought that, you know, they were wearing burqas, all of them. And then she explained to me, not like, no, like Pakistani ladies, they don't, you know, like they don't have to wear burqas, and some of us are modern and we wear jeans and things like that. And, you know, I had these misconceptions about a lot of cultures until I got here and I understood that we were closer. I thought we were way more different, you know, but the closer or the more I got to know different people from other cultures, I realized how close we are in many ways. You know, there are a lot of things that we consider or think of in a very similar way, although we could come from very different cultures. But in certain principles, we could have a lot in common, a lot more than we think. Yeah. Yeah.
Talking about culture shock, and then something funny as well. When I was working on the airplane.
Yeah.
So if you do certain flights, for example, I think even here as well, if you want to tell someone, can you wait a moment, please? You do this.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And the thing is, this hand gesture.
Yes.
And the thing is, you know, if you come from a Western world, this hand gesture actually means something totally different.
Yeah.
Okay.
But here it's like, wait a moment, please.
Wait.
So,
I had
this is
trouble.
this is the great thing. I could go on the plane, and if someone wants something from me at the time, I would just be like, wait a moment, please. You know.
I had trouble adapting to that because, like, from where we come from, that's, you know, it's, you don't do that, you know. But
Absolutely not.
So correct, right?
Yes,
so
yes,
I had trouble adjusting to that because when every time someone did that to me, like, I felt like it's kind of insulting.
Yes.
And then I'm just so used to it now that
okay, like,
you know, like,
a moment, please.
Yeah.
Brazil means a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, you do like this a little bit.
A little bit.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
In South Africa, I have the shock with this, with the gestures and stuff.
Okay.
Because in Brazil, they have some gesture with the hand that is normal, is a good luck. And I discovered that in South Africa, in most of Africa, even parts of the Middle East, is a different, I mean, it's kind of insult.
Yeah.
You know, so I become like, okay, you cannot show the hand in the certain ways, you know. And this was something that here in Dubai, you can see all these different kind of gestures with the hands and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you have to adapt, but to don't shock, don't insult other person, because like you say in Western, in Southeast Asia, is you should not do that in front of people. Right?
Like, you know.
And in Brazil, this is a little bit.
Yeah.
Try doing it in Italy.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh well.
Yeah. But then we got to learn all of these things
That's
here,
the
you
good
know.
thing that you learn, we adapt.
Yeah.
People still ask me if I like Dubai. After 18 years, I'm like, if I don't like Dubai, how can I stay here 18 years? You know?
Yes.
You like Dubai?
Say, I love Dubai.
I
actually.
love Dubai, man.
Yeah.
I found
Love this
myself
place,
here,
yes,
actually. Yeah.
What's the one thing now that you love about Dubai?
What do I love about Dubai so much? Well, talking about places that I lived before in my life, I've spent 16 years in Singapore and then 11 years in Thailand. Now I spent 21 years in Dubai. And this place has become my home. And what I really love about this place is like the open-mindedness of people. Because I think that it is a fact that we all left home and we left like that kind of a certain mindset that our nationality like kind of have. And then you leave that, you come here with a very open mindset with regards to a lot of things. Yeah, and that's what I love about being here. You know, and I meet a lot of people who are like myself. You know, when you ask them where they're from, the answer is like a paragraph instead of just like, okay, I'm just from here, and I feel very much at home here.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's why I love Dubai.
Yeah.
I like the vibe, you know, this possibility that we can do everything, you know, everything is possible. I really like. I start reading a lot about the sheikh and the mindset of, it's not perfect like people used to, Dubai, no, there's no perfection. But the way they organize this one to make things happen, you don't see any place in the world.
Right.
You know, and I really like this environment, this kind of vibe that do it, be ambitious, do your stuff, we can succeed. Don't be crying. Dubai is not for being crying. Dubai to come here. Okay, the beginning can be hard, like you say, but we adapt and then we are here.
Yeah.
So this kind of environment that I really like it, and I felt at home. You know, I found myself in Dubai.
Yeah.
Now I become more aware of this, you know, these possibilities.
Yeah.
That in Latin America we usually have this mindset, a little bit of negative and stuff. But I've here, like, look at this, look all these possibilities.
Yeah.
Nobody believed on this project, and they made it, and it's still doing it, and still going up and up and up. You know.
Yeah.
I really like this kind of vibe here.
Yeah.
Likewise, you know, because for exposure, and then you're saying if you want exposure and if you want knowledge and if you want experience in terms of whatever craft you do, I think Dubai is always at the forefront.
Yeah,
for sure. They're gonna bring the best. They're gonna bring the newest. They're gonna bring this all the time in any aspect of business. And another thing I like about this place is, you know, you can create your own niche. There are so many in between cultures here, like just depending on what you like to do.
Yeah.
And Dubai actually supports those communities, you know, and whatever. If you want to do paddle, there's a whole group of paddle people.
Become new stuff.
Correct. If you want to do volleyball, there you see volleyball. Even you'll be surprised. Even table tennis in this Al Wasl
club,
place,
club strong,
there's like a really strong table tennis community there. So like, it gives you all of these small niche cultures that you can actually explore and be part of. Yeah. For you to, you know, to feel part of the community.
Yeah, even open business related to this. When I arrived, they started the kite surfing on the
exactly.
beach.
Yeah.
Was like a hobby.
Yeah.
And then become a big business. Yeah. You see now the kite beach now is amazing. You know what I mean?
And then you'll feel that you're local in the sense that, for example, if I talk about cultural niches, and for example, us in jiu-jitsu, we know everyone. Because you have a niche, you have a culture, and if you talk about Muay, you know everyone. Yeah. You go to Kite Beach and someone's doing kite surfing, they know everyone there. Yeah. So that's the beauty of Dubai, and then with that sense, you feel like I'm from here.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter if I don't have the passport, if I don't speak Arabic or anything, but
create this sense of
because
family.
of that, because you know there's a culture that you have, there's a certain set of people that you know, and you probably see every day.
Yeah.
Aside from work.
Yes.
And I
Aside
love
from
that
work,
you mentioned, you talk about community, and there's no mention of nationality,
Yeah.
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 you know,
Yes.
because we make these, communities happen and they get together.
Yeah.
And, the country and nationality and where we come from is not the criteria.
Yeah.
It's just that, what brings you together is your passion, is what you're working on, or your goals, or, and culture is just, or the origin of the nationality has almost no
Less important in this
importance.
sense, yeah.
Yeah.
You see the jiu-jitsu, we create a huge, very strong relationship with jiu-jitsu community. You can meet these people from all over the world, and it become very strong relationship, with all the nationality we have in the gym. And you see, we met you met Irene, everywhere, and become very strong sense of friendship and community. Because again, come back, like we are here from outside of our comfort zone, from our country, from our family. So when you meet these people from outside as well, in some situation, we bond together, and that's what makes it very strong in this sense, like the belonging, to this group, to this family, to this niche market, to whatever we do in Dubai, in groups.
Correct.
It's
And good vibes, it's just all about good vibes. It's not like for me to tell you that's not good, that's not right. It's just not my niche.
Yeah.
I go to another place, I feel the vibe here, it's good, I stay
Exactly.
here. So that's the beauty of Dubai. It's not like,
Yeah.
it has every niche for everyone.
Yeah.
The opportunity as
and those things you don't see in social media. You don't see it in YouTube. You don't see it in Facebook or Instagram. It's
real.
something you feel.
Yeah, it's the real
It's
stuff.
something you feel that when you're here, okay, this guy I know, and then you remember why you know him. Then nice.
Yeah.
So, good vibes.
Yeah.
The city provides this kind of environment, to create this community, this sense of communities. And a lot of these groups, they start small, they start like niche, doing kind of sport, and then again come back to to become a business. They surf, the guys who do paddle, stand paddle.
Oh yeah,
was the same.
That's another thing.
It started as a hobby in the Bujaralab. One guy was doing this, somebody saw it and liked it, and then become a business and become a huge community.
Even these guys from Skydive Dubai.
Yeah, I met the guy.
There are so many people who do it all together, and then there's some of them, a group of them also do jiu-jitsu, a group of them surf, a group. So it's everyone knows each other. Basically, if you're into one cultural niche, then and it's good because you never get bored.
Yeah.
True.
There's so many things we
True.
can do in Dubai, so many opportunities, so many activities that we can do here. Some people ask me like, okay, Dubai is boring, there's not to do. I say, Habib, where do you stay? Because Dubai, there's so many things that you can do.
Yeah.
Either inside the city or in the countryside, whatever you need, there is so many things, so many activities that you do. I mean, I have friends that they like to camp. Till now, they like to camp in the desert. I love it to do it.
Oh.
Yeah,
Long
it's
time we don't do
Yes,
that.
yes.
But we used to camp a lot over there. It's amazing. I mean, you can go to the mountains. Let's see, I did the what they call trekking, the mountain with my daughter and some friends. And now I have a group of fathers. Talk about niche. We have a group of fathers.
Okay.
They create one day without the mothers.
Okay.
Only the father and the kids.
Nice.
Max.
Yes.
Went to the desert with the kids, 30 kids,
Okay.
and left them in the wild over there. The kids love it.
Wow.
You see, and then for some group, now we're planning to go to the trek in the mountains in the winter time with the kids as well. So, like all this group of people from different nationalities, nobody care about it.
Yeah.
We care about this activity,
There's a desert as well, it's hard to, people get surprised how nice the desert is.
It is.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love
Especially
it.
during winter, like how fine the sand is.
It's
And, like,
beautiful,
it's
actually.
beautiful.
And the flowers, man. I found this tiny flower just after the rain. The next day I went there with the guests, and then Sunday was full of small, tiny yellow flowers.
Wow.
How see the nature is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Man. In the middle of the sands come the flower.
Yeah.
Just after the rain, I was like amazed. I took the picture show to the guests. Because when they think about the desert, they think there's nothing. There's no life over there. There's nothing that they can find.
When you
insects.
step on it, you feel the beauty.
Yeah.
You feel how clean it is as well.
Yeah. What's the one Dubai thing you can't live without?
Good question.
Deliveries. Really. Bless them drivers, riders.
Let me.
They really make our lives so much easier.
Yeah.
Really, yes.
If I can say one thing I cannot live without, is in Dubai, that the kind of easy life they can provide to us. You know, in another place you order something, there's a bureaucracy. Here it's like, that's if I leave Dubai, that's the one thing I'm gonna miss a lot. This easy way to deliver stuff to like make happen very quickly, you know.
Yeah.
Which another place we cannot have it. So that's,
Another thing is,
I think I'm gonna miss it a lot if I leave Dubai. You know?
even the malls, I can go to the, like now, like it's 9. I can go to the mall anywhere in the world at this time. The malls are going to be closed.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Just have to pick up, you know. Now.
Yeah.
We have a pretty late night culture, I would
Yeah.
say,
Yes.
and that's quite appreciated
Even
for a
Yes.
lot of us. Yeah.
Or more like so Ramadan, it's like 2 a.m. and they're still open.
My
you know?
God, yeah.
Like now, right? 9 p.m. I'm hungry. I want to go out and eat. You know, like
Yeah,
you go to the mall, it's just starting.
the food culture here is very good as well. You go everywhere, especially in Jumeirah area in Marina. 24 hours you can find food over there. I mean, restaurants open.
Yeah.
Like amazing, man. You know, this
Yeah,
kind of
we're
stuff
spoiled.
that are gonna be missed. You know.
That's also part of the safety aspect, I guess.
yeah,
'cause
yeah,
you can stay open without the fear of getting mugged
That's
or
true.
getting
Oh
robbed.
yes.
Yeah.
So,
True.
And that's business too.
Correct.
Most importantly. Yeah.
yeah.
Last
Yeah.
year I was in Slovakia, and no, last year no, 2023. I was in Slovakia. 9 o'clock, man, finished the life.
Yeah.
Everything closed. I'm like, my God, you know, I was missing a lot this kind of Dubai that you go out and you can buy everything outside. And, I mean, food and stuff.
That's so true.
Yeah, I was
That's so
there.
true.
10 o'clock maximum. Halas, even the
Everything
pubs
closes.
closing. Like,
I
so few
did,
pubs
I
were
did
open.
jiu-jitsu in I went to Italy. I went to Marsala in like far away Sicily. So I left and I did jiu-jitsu at 7 p.m. Class finished at like 8:30. Showered, stepped out at 9. Everything was closed.
Go city.
Yeah.
If I knew that was gonna be like that, I wouldn't have gone to jiu-jitsu. I would have just had dinner and enjoyed the place. But like, so like, okay, let me do jiu-jitsu, and then at least I can get out and see what's happening.
Yeah.
I get
Nothing
out,
is happening.
Nothing is happening. Everything.
Yeah.
Get really spoiled here.
Oh, well.
man.
Yeah, we
It's,
are. We
You
are.
know, with the cabin crew life, we travel everywhere.
even better.
Yeah.
And we land at all times of the day and trying to look for food at different times of the day. We know how
Yeah.
it's like, in different places.
Countries.
In countries, yeah. Asia is easy. You
Yeah.
get food 24/7
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
Asia.
Yeah.
7-Eleven or whatnot.
Yeah,
All these
and-
convenience stores.
And all these corners that they sell barbecue and stuff.
Yeah.
Barbecue,
that's always
yes,
there.
skewers
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something,
yeah,
yes.
yeah,
And then you
Yeah.
go to Europe and it's kind of different.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then but here is like it's pretty much Asia.
Yeah.
But in the like improved version, like
Improved
it's-
version, of
Yeah.
course.
with health
Upgraded
authority,
Yeah.
clean,
And the cleanest.
like regulated.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel now versus when you just arrived?
Wow.
Wow,
In the beginning, it's just everything is so new, like and
the
plus
excitement.
and then plus Dubai wasn't as developed as like 20 years. So much has changed thanks to Sheikh Mohammed, His Highness vision of Dubai and turning it into like a
global city, yeah.
global city of tourism and everything. It's so developed now, but at the same time, it is. How should I say? Back then, it's like, okay, if I want to eat Thai, there's only a few restaurants that I can go to. Now, I don't even know how to choose anymore.
Yeah.
You look through the options and stuff.
Yeah.
But yes, it is a part of the development.
Yeah. Part of the
And-
process. Yeah.
Part of the process, yeah. And then it feels like you change according to the times too. So
Yeah, the adaptation they did. I miss the time because it was small. The amount of people was less, and we have a more sense of community, more close. And the house catering, like the barbecue, these weekends, and Fridays. Remember, this was the big stuff in that time. I miss a little bit of this, but in the same time, on the other hand, I like the city now. A proper city with all the service, everything. We have everything that we have in the big cities now. We have in Dubai, even
Right.
better. Yeah, so I like this new Dubai as well.
Okay.
Yeah, the good thing about this is, if thinking of it from a global scale, is that a lot of other countries plan things but never happen, or you never
deliver.
live to
Yeah.
see that happen,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? Because here they plan something, and in the next few years you'll be
It's
able to
done.
live and tell.
It's ready. Yeah.
So I've seen, because I do master plans and all that, And the plans are like 25, 30 years. You won't. I won't be able to see that. But here they plan on improving the drainage in the next 3 years, and you see it's already happening. There's traffic in Hessa. That flyover is already
You see
done
so
and
fast they
finished.
did it.
So these are things I think globally you will never see anywhere. And from when I came and until now, in terms of that aspect, efficiency is so much better.
It is. Yes.
You know, they've just managed to make everything so much easier for everyone. Transportation, access to whatever you need.
No, the facility now, you can solve everything with apps now. Most of the department, the government, everything with apps.
Correct.
You don't
That
have to go
also,
there anymore. We put in the internet, pay, halas, done.
Done.
My
Yeah.
God. Yes.
And the comfort also is that it does not just limit your safety into leaving your wallet and your phone on the table. I feel so safe using the apps here as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, like I don't mind linking my bank account to another app because I'm okay. Even on the table when you pay, you scan to pay. Usually when you go to other countries, you feel like, I might get scammed.
Yeah.
Here you really scan to pay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's amazing.
One advice you would give to someone moving to Dubai now?
Well.
I think that you would hear a lot of the restrictions, as we all cover in the beginning. But when you actually come and live here, it's actually very manageable.
It is.
Yeah, this is how I feel with the restrictions. They're not asking for a whole lot actually.
No, it's few restrictions. Adapt.
Stay in your lane.
and is it.
That's as simple
That's
as
it.
that. Stay in your lane. You know it's bad, don't do it.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Like you can't drink on the beach,
Yeah.
which is something that is very normal in where we come from. That's not a really big deal.
Exactly.
Like you can still go to the bars. Like for example,
Public display of affection is normally
yes,
not.
yeah.
It's always frowned upon anywhere you go.
Yeah. Except
Just
Brazil.
keep your lane.
Yeah.
Just stay in your lane. Respect everyone.
Yeah, come with open mind. That's what I would say. Come with open mind, adapt. Don't come with the negative image you see in the media. And is it Dubai is open for everybody.
That's the good thing about Dubai is you come here with the mindset you're the best. Dubai is that place you'll always feel there's someone better than you.
Exactly.
And then
You have to improve. You have to improve.
you think you're the best.
Yeah.
But no, someone from another part of the world comes here and he's he's top dog, and then again, you step your game out, and then that's the beauty of it.
The city was made for this, to feel the competition, improve yourself to be better than the another guy, and then this never stops.
And it's fair game also. It's fair game. Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
And take everything positively. That's what you should do.
yes, that's the thing.
The city is
Everything
here,
positive.
open mind, open arm, open doors for everybody.
Yeah. I've got this sentence for you to finish, so each one of you would finish it their way. So you live in Dubai when?
Okay, I'll go that.
Okay.
You live in Dubai when you understand inshallah means yes, maybe or never. That's my version.
Okay. You're in Dubai when you drive up to a grocery store, you honk, and a friendly subcontinent worker comes out and takes your order.
Your order.
That's when you're in Dubai.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're now in Dubai. When you call to the grocery, they bring you one sweet that you order. They can bring you one sweet. Another place you order one sweet, they say no, don't go. It's not
With a
worth.
credit card. machine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
That you now are in
Yeah.
Dubai.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Because I just had one paper printed out with less than a dirham. It was 0 point something, and I paid it with my
Exactly.
with the tap and pay with my phone.
Dubai
Yeah.
takes it the next step. That
Exactly.
the guy brings it to your door.
Yeah.
There's a guy who's gonna bring that and pay for 1 dirham on your door.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is that you now are in Dubai. Because if in
Yeah.
Brazil you order something less, then they're gonna say, oh no, put something else, and now they have to create value. But here, yes, they deliver.
A WhatsApp message you would send to yourself, past self, before moving to Dubai.
I would say invest early
Okay.
because everyone came here. I'll be here for 2 years. I'll be here for 3. We've all been here near 20 years now.
Next year, inshallah. Next year.
And if you invest now, it's gonna take you another 15 years.
Yeah.
That's a very good point, actually.
So I think if I came back and if I knew what I knew now, and someone like myself talked to myself, you invest. Invest now. Doesn't matter if you can't afford it, find ways. You'll manage.
Yes.
Dubai will help you out.
I would say come to the mindset of open business, be a capitalist, make money in the sense not be an employee, make money, be your own, yourself, make your own business happen. If I could say to somebody like me arriving here as well, don't stay there waiting the salary every month. Try to do something yourself because the city helps you to do so. That's what I could say.
Okay.
Well, I think it's pretty much the same lines, like with Alan, with regards to investment, especially with regards to properties.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to say now in hindsight, after witnessing everything that, the changes and everything. But investing in properties.
Yeah. I think what I would say to myself is dream big.
Yeah. Very, very good, this one.
Dream big. Be bold, because you can.
Yeah. Exactly. Be ambitious.
Yeah.
Anything is pretty much possible.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so I believe we end it here. This was actually a really good way to end our conversation today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Special
inviting.
edition episode.
It was nice.
Yeah.
It was
So
amazing.
I just moved to Dubai.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in to this special edition of So I Just Moved to Dubai. A huge thanks to my guests for sharing their stories and laughs with us today. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who might be planning their own adventure. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and keep discovering.